everyone. This is Sharon, your therapy birds, and her pimple master. She wants to go out and visit her friend. Are you hungry? I didn't think you're going to eat it, but there's not that much in there. She knows there's some left over. There you go. You finished up that little nibble that you had leftovers from lunch. Oh, we're skipping a whole bunch of people. I call them people. Sorry about that, you guys, if that offends you. Hi, girls. That's so sweet, sweet babies. All tip-topped in the bed. Got their food and their water over there. Their camera. You guys get them tonight. The Reds. So we got all our beautiful babies in there. So down here was the juvenile. We use this for the juvenile, which I'll show you in a minute, and the baby quail, which are actually juvenile. So technically, at this point, both of the chicks and the quail are at the same age. Almost the same age. They're about maybe a week off as far as their development. Quail develop very, very, very quickly. And I've said this before, they will be having babies, laying eggs before they even hit puberty. So, anyway, they're getting close. They're going to surpass them. They're getting really close because they got all their feathers. They're just waiting on their head. So, and we'll see where they're at. I'm pretty positive they're completely feathered out. But they've got all their feathers. They're just, like I said, I'm working on their head right now. So there'll be a juvenile by next week, by the end of this week. So, oh, stretching, and then they're going to be moving into there permanently. And the chicks aren't going to be able to use it no more. I keep warning them. They are choosing to sleep in here with the big birds at night, and so that's a good sign that they're not going to need the kennel. I don't like my birds actually being in kennels. I just haven't figured out a safe way to do that with the quail. So, because we have the quail haven't been able to use even the aviary. They did go loose today in the house. I put the curtain up. When the birds all decide to go to bed, and then I let them out. So now all of them get to go out. But this morning, all of the girls got to go out. The boys did not. So they stayed in the kennels, and the girls got to free roam. So anyway, here's my chickies. Like I said, I'm pretty positive they got all their feathers. So like I said, those quail babies will be bypassing them developmentally and about the end of the week. So it's pretty interesting. I had a couple of them, Isha and Luna. No, Luna never had babies at this time, but Isha and Ira hit puberty when those ones that we were just looking at were hitting puberty at the same time. Obviously Isha and Ira were born a lot sooner than them. But it was pretty interesting how Ira, who is a chicken, didn't care. None of the male birds cared that they were quail. Let me put it that way. What is up, baby? There's a rat hole right behind where that cardboard is. And she knows there's one trying to get in. So, Isha, you need to get out of there. Come out of there. Come over here. I don't want you over here. That's not safe. First. Be nice. Be nice. Do not step. Don't. What am I telling you? I said no. Stop. She needs to be in a safe place. Just gonna kick her off. You're such a meanie. You're so mean. Yeah, she's meanie girl. Here you go, baby. She gets to hide. She's a good flyer. She can fly up there by herself. But she's probably full. So anyway, they're all tucked into bed. The only one, like I said, I usually have to move in here. They'll start crying by the curtain. So what I do, like I said, I put them in there before dinner time and after dinner. After they're done eating dinner, they usually come in here and chill out, do their feathers and all that stuff. And so I let the babies out. The babies will eat and drink and do their business. And then they'll start crying at the door. So I let them in here, and then I have to put... Doodlebug can come up here on his own, but Lizzie and Snickers here are both frizzles, and they cannot fly. They do a good job hopping and soaring, I would say, or gliding, I guess the word I would use. So she can go from... I did change this. I'm going to let you know I did. I changed it for a couple of reasons. One, for Liz's benefit. She can jump pretty much that distance safely. I just don't want her to hurt herself. And so I did the tip up. It wasn't working for us the long way. A couple reasons. Because I have a couple a couple birds that are perchers. Luna and Macho are perchers, so I only have one stick in there right now, but I can put another one in there for Luna. But Luna sometimes likes to perch and sometimes doesn't, so he can get up there. There's a room for him. Macho doesn't like to share. So generally speaking, he pretty much won't let Luna up there, even though there's room. Honeyboo is on the floor and can't reach Macho, so that's why I have it the way it is. So otherwise, he's beating up Macho, and it's not nice. He doesn't really bother Luna. Luna's, in his eyes, still a child, and so he's not one to, his beef is with Macho. So they do beat up on Sassy Boo. All of them do. So Sassy Boo has his own house. And then he shares that with the girls as far as the roof. So a little bit usually goes up here. And then Lizzie likes to be up here as well. And then Izzy is either here or there or here or there or there. I don't know. She chooses where she is. Moon is being banded from Honeyboo. So what's going on is Mooney, if you're new to the channel, for us, Mooney's blind. And so his chickens can see just like we can, far and close. But they see it differently in the sense that one eye on one side of their head, it sees the near part, and the other one sees the far part. And so the part that's near, which is the part that helps them eat and drink and find food and all this other stuff, is blind. The part that's far away, which is seeing hawks and such, he can still do that. So outside, he's actually a bonus. He doesn't really roam around a lot because he really can't see where he's going. He has memorized the whole entire backyard, and that's only because he has Honeyboo down there as his guide chicken. And so Honeyboo's not the nicest guide chicken, I would have to say. He's pretty selfish. He likes to eat. He doesn't tell him where the food's at. And so I had to make sure that Moon gets fed before he goes to bed at night. But right now he's being banned from him because what's happening is Honey's telling Moon that there's something bad going down, and then Moon calls the alert of bad stuff is going down, and there's nothing going down. And so he doesn't know when Honey's lying and when he's not. Honey lies for a lot of reasons. He lies because he's bored. He lies because he's hungry. Like in the middle of the night, if he's hungry, he'll wake everybody up so that he can eat. I'm ignoring her because I know there's a rat there. Don't tell me there's a rat there. I know there's a rat there. I cannot do nothing about it. It's technically under the house. So there's that cabinet that she's looking at. This whole area from here down is under the house. The resident's bedroom is at that level of where the Sassy and them are. So that level right there is where the house sits. So we're down below them by, I don't know, 4 feet, 2 feet, 3 feet. So underneath the house, it goes down a little bit further than us, my understanding, where all their plumbing and all that stuff is at. And their hot water heater is up in the attic, so they have to go up there every once in a while. Not maybe twice, I think they have to look at it, but not very often. So the house and this room is connected. So they are not separate buildings, but they are I'm in a different level than they are. So I have the saving grace that I have a complete concrete slab that I'm on, and they're on a wood floor, so the rats just come right up. The only place that we have issues is right here where it's a bumped, where they're kind of like roaming. So there's it's all just wood there. So that's what they chewed through. That's what she's worried about, because they're probably just all lined up waiting for us to turn the lights off or leave the room, and that's what they usually do. And then they torment the chickens all night long. Now, they don't actually hurt the chickens. I have them on video. They just basically stare at them, look at them, roam around the room, picking up stuff that they might have missed. We do try to do a really good job of cleaning up. There is food in the room, but Isha has it, and they're not accessible. So we have that hole there, and then this is just is just a panel. It's not even a wall. It's just a panel that separates us from that room out there, and they just keep chewing holes through it. And then, of course, all this whole entire area is, like I said, underground, under the house. And they're coming up. That's where they come up through here. Then we also have them coming through here and here, and this whole wall, because they've chewed through all this whole. This wall goes like the furnace is in there, and so that's like the furnace. Used to be the laundry room and furnace room, and they have just free room of the furnace. And they discontinued the furnace, and since they did that, they just moved in, and then they had allowed them to have free room of the house, because the duct system is still, it's a furnace air conditioner. I don't know if that's forced air or whatever it's called, but there's a duct system throughout the house. So there's nothing wrong with it. They just discontinued it because they went to electric, so because it's gas. So anyway, the rats took over and now are living in that whole system, and that just gives them, like I said, entrance to the house. And they just have access to everything. But she gets upset. They're slowly chewing that's from them, that hole right there. That's from the rats chewing through the wall. I don't even know. I don't even know. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. I don't know how much they've chewed through. But they like to chew in a circle. I noticed that. I know, boo. And also this is a room with other residents, and her night person is on duty. And so her boyfriend's here, and she's going to go in heat, or she's going into heat. And so that's who she's also, her bed is right here. So I know he's laying on her bed, and she can smell him. Is that Buddha Boo in there? Is that what you're smelling? You smelling your Buddha Boo, or you smell her daughter's in there too? Her daughter is the residence therapy dog. So I don't know if it's the rats or if it's her going into heat. But she is anxious. I think it's the rats, though. All right, it's the rats. Anyway, down here we have our other breeding group. The red group is in that one over there, and then this one is all my feral groups, boy and girls. And then I try to keep the bachelors on the bottom, so there's nobody in that one over there. Like I said, that's where these little munchkins are going until they hit puberty. But these ones are all my bachelors, down at the bottom. And then this is my tuxedo group is in there. So, and these are my the eggs that are fertilized are in here. I think there's only 6 in there. And I'm hoping with this time at lockdown, I'm going to try to put, I don't know how they're doing this watering such. They have bigger incubators. The new fad is putting food and water in there, so when they're born, they have something to eat. And my fear is that the babies are just going to knock the water over and get water on babies that are not born yet. But I usually do a mash. So I thought, okay, well, I could do a mash. And that they would be able to get some liquid that way, I guess. Excuse me. What in the world are you guys doing? Do I have to put somebody downstairs again? Who's fighting in there? They're going into their season, so all of the boys, including the chickens, are just being like, all my bachelors who were calm. I actually had to rearrange this whole entire room because of the bachelors, because they were facing each other and they could see the girls, right? So now they have no visualization of girls unless they're running around. And so what I'm going back to, usually when they're being feisty, I guess the word I want to say, when they go through their season, when their hormones start kicking, there is a baby loose. I knew there was one loose. Come here. That's why she's been crying this whole time. Because it's darkness. What are you running around for? I knew you were running around. I just couldn't figure out where you went, and I wasn't going to worry about it. So I was going to wait until you came back. Yeah. You scared Mama. She probably went under the kennel. But Faith has been upset about it. Faith is behind me panting. I'll show you. That's her nervous. Are you okay? You went on an adventure? Did you find anything interesting? Scary? Oh. I love you. I miss you. I'm glad you're closer to Mama. So I did rearrange it so that and opened it up a little bit so that we can enjoy the space. And the summer's coming. If the bird flu dies down, that'd be nice, that we can have a good summer, because it's bad enough. We've been in quarantine since September, October. And the night dude said that he was going to build the quail outdoor aviary so they could go outside and be safe. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? That's a sweet baby. A lot of people say they don't like their wings touched. I don't think they think that you pinning them down is what they don't like. But she's cuddling up to me, and she's standing on my hand with her feet. Also, gonna go back in the house? Yeah. I stopped petting you. I stopped petting her. She's like, what happened, Mom? I was getting all comfortable and something happened. Alright, let me put her down. She's the OG mom of the red group. So she's the oldest in this group. The next oldest is Sparky, her daughter, which is one of the ones I moved in here. Otherwise, she was in here for almost a whole month, which is one of the reasons why I did it. Because these are all the red group are all from a different breeder, and so I personally feel that they know who's their children, because, and I also think that they know who they're related to. I can't shine the light onto them too much because they will think they'll start flying. Because when they're babies and such, it seems like I study my birds. I don't know if you guys do, but a lot of the breeders separate their birds by color type, especially the Cornix, because we have so many variations. I don't think any other quail are like that, but I'm sure somebody will correct me. But the point I was trying to make is that there's color variations, and I think there's like 12 or 14, maybe more. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will correct me on that as well. I am a novice at this point, so I'm not by any means I would not even consider myself a beginner at this point. I would not consider myself a beginner. I have gone through 3 or 4 generations of quail, so I have seen that, but I have not been successful. I'm successful with the adults. I'm not successful with going from the incubator, from the mama to the incubator to the brooder, and then being successful as far as what I would like. So that's on me. That's not them. Mostly because of funding. Trying to do it with very little. Believe it or not, I've done it with my chickens successfully. Got an incubator finally. Was still using tents at that time. Then went from tents to these nice structures because we were having the predator issues that was taking my quail. They waited until my quail were all plump and adults, and so at that point, within 2 or 3 days of the boys crowing, they found those boys so quick and ate and yeah, got them. Anywho, I went from 5 boys down to 1. That's where I'm at right now with my OG boy. So my OG boy is Sunny D, and he's right over there. Ah, sweet, sweet baby. That's my Sunny D. Are you gonna crow for us? Let everybody know who you are? Sunny D. Sissy, his son, is right there. Sunny D, Sunny D. That's also Sparky's daddy. That's a sweet, sweet baby. Which is why he's not breeding this. He's on vacay. That's why I call it vacay. So I rotate them so that they're not too related, and I try not to have them mate with anybody that they're actually related to. But I started out with 5 boys and 2 girls, and then they were all adults for about, like I said, about a week, maybe 2 weeks. Lost 2. Had 3 for another month or 2, almost a month, and lost another 2, and then we have Sunny D. So for sure, Sunny D is, like I said, is my last bird that I have from the OG. And so by the time I got the incubator and everything else, I had already lost 3 of them by then, 3 or 4. So I have, as far as boys right now, as far as groups for my originals, my groups are obviously red, because I have red over here, which is my Darkness and my Sunny D. I didn't have a red to mate her with, so I mated her with a Feral Boy and a Tuxedo Boy. So I have a mixture of that. I have Goldens from my side, and then also I got some Feral Golden from... I got one of mine and one of the one from Rebecca Lynch's line. And then I got my tuxedos. And so obviously Sunny D is not a tuxedo. He's a red. And so obviously those babies that were born, the tuxedos and all of my originals, because those are all mine originals, they all came from deceased papas. which I think was pretty ironic. I actually had eggs that were almost a month old. Don't obviously I don't mark my eggs, so I can't classify what was successful or not. I'm just letting you know I had eggs that were a month old, though, and I had two, like I said, the two originals. Um, the one that passed away last, I had a tuxedo, and a pharaoh passed away last, and of course I have a red. But they, like I said, the eggs from those were in the were laid after Mom and Papa passed. Let me put it that way. So that's a fact. There's just no doubting that the fact that happens. I don't know how long they. Like I said, I don't mark my eggs. If somebody can find a safe way to do it, the only thing I think that would be safe would be wax. As far as it being natural, something in nature that they would come in contact with. But I still don't feel comfortable about putting anything on the eggs. I mean, they're obviously my eggs. I don't wash them either. Even before I put them in the incubator, I make sure I brush them off and all that stuff, so there's nothing like big chunks or whatever on them. But you guys need to stop fighting in there. Darkness, you better tell those girls to stop it. See, what is happening now is they know babies are being born because they can hear the babies in the incubator that's over there. And, yeah, those are their babies. Most of them should be mostly feral or reds. I, once again, don't know because I don't mark my eggs, but that's the only ones that went in there. There shouldn't be any tuxedos in there. And then right now I'm collecting the reds and ferals right now because that's the one I need. I only have a few selections of ferals. So I have one boy in there, and then I have the 3 girls, and then I don't have any other boys he's my only boy that's a feral. I thought I was going to have another one, but it turned out she was a girl. Yep. Anyway, so I'm hoping I'll have at least, I know I have 2 feral boys up in there, 2 ferals in there, the brooder right now, and a tuxedo. I know, those are easily identifiable at this age. And so I know what I have in there. Tuxedos, you can't sex them, so you're gonna have to wait until they hit puberty, basically. And I've had tuxedos. Like my Chip was a feral, and he didn't indicate he was a boy for almost until he passed. Literally, I think he only crowed for like a week, and they found him so quick and snatched him up. And so the crowing is what got them. They never once attacked the girls, but the boys, they just start crowing, and then as soon as they start doing that in the nighttime, it just kind of alerts them. So anyway, like I said, I fixed it by getting these. I didn't want to get hard. I wanted everything soft. But anyway, we have to do what we have to do to protect the birds. So we have gone too hard. I don't have them standing on plastic. They're on pee pads. I'm trying to slowly go into washable ones. I have them right here. So they're right here. They're just a tad bigger than what I needed, and this is, I think, the smallest they come in. So, I did try them out with the little babies because they're not as destructive or rough. Chickens are very, very rough, and I think they would work out real. I need something for Sassy Boo because Sassy tears up the pee pads. My quail boys, sometimes when they're having a temper tantrum, they'll do it. Usually, when they when the season starts, that's when they start getting agitated. And that's why I have the kennels the way they're facing away from the girls. They can't see. There's no direct eye contact or anything like that. They are below the breeding groups. I'm trying to debate on putting all of the boys down in that kennel down there, which I have enough for 4 of them, and I have 4 boys, and then having my breeding groups in these ones. That way they're not in. That's what I did last year. I put them all in that kind of order. That way they weren't directly anywhere near eye contact and or near above. Because right now they got their breeding group right above them doing the hoochie coochie, and they're getting agitated. Sissy knows that he's never going to be bred because he has crossbeak. Sunny D's on vacay, like I said. He is my OG. And I have a boy red in here. I have to do it real quick because they're getting agitated. And then I have a feral boy in there. And then I have Danny. I have several of tuxedos. That's why I'm not hatching tuxedos, because I have several. I have 3 boys and like 4 or 5 girls. So I'm good with where I am right now with my tuxedos is perfect. I don't need any more. I have 1 more in the brooder, so I'm good to go. Because I did one. Hopefully we have a female tuxedo, because that's what I need. I don't need any more boys. But in here, like I said, I only have the 1 boy. I don't know what Sissy is. I did put a video out. They want me to do another one, so I'm gonna try to do another one with it like in slow-mo, so that you guys can see, because it might be too fast. Anyway, she thought it was juice. I have short-term memory issues, so I think she said, and it's new to me too. I'm a novice, so I'm slowly getting some of the lingo down, but believe me, I don't even have a clue what people are. It's like talking to somebody in Latin. It's like going to college all over again. Oh my God. I took a philosophy class. That's exactly how it is. I took a philosophy class because I had social anxiety, and it was the only class that was going to be in a small, relaxed environment that I actually was recommended, by the way. And I am not even close to understanding anything that they said. And I took it, actually, the class 3 times. I think 2 or 3 times. And I had some electives that I needed to use up, and I used it on that. So it did help me with my social anxiety. But once again, I had no clue what they're talking about. I did take Latin in high school. I had no clue. That I understood more than that philosophy class. I love language, so apparently when I'm delirious, I can speak the language more so than when I'm not. And I'm very rarely delirious. But apparently I had double pneumonia, so apparently I spoke fluent Spanish when I was delirious. But anyway, I only have the 1 feral boy right now. Like I said, I can't use Sissy. Sunny D is a red. I have 2 red boys, or ranges, I guess what you call them. And I have like 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 2 solid range girls. 1 normal size. I have jumbo and normal. So I got some jumbo. All my red from. Most of my red from her Rebecca's line were all jumbo. I did, like I said, I'm pretty positive I have a feral gold girl in there that's not mine. The feral boy is mine, I think, and then I have another feral girl that I got, and then I have my Daryl's in there. So I do need more ferals. I'm getting more reds just because, I'm getting more reds just because I want to have my own reds range, and from Rebecca's line, and I don't. So I would like to have that. So I'm trying for red range, or I'll take anything with the red gene in it. I have only first generations from her, and so I really want to own my own generations, so I'm having a little difficulty getting fertilized eggs from these babies, and so we'll see what happens. I don't know. They might be just too young. I don't know. Daryl's pop. I have Daryl, which is a feral, and I have Darkness, which is a red. So they should be able to, having babies too. And then I have a lot of adult grandbabies from them too. So anyway, trying to add up onto that line, and then hopefully I'm ready. I'll be ready for the ones in the incubator hatching out in 7 days, and so that in a week, and then they'll be in there for whatever 2-3 days, and then they'll go right into the brooders. So I like to have that brooder empty completely and not being used by the babies in there now. At least 3 days prior to the ones popping in there. It just gives them a little bit of a closure. They do get very, very territorial about their area, and when they mix those two groups together, eventually, I don't want them fighting. And so they usually get introduced, usually when they can run. I start introducing them, so they get little visits so I'll bring the 3 big ones in with these ones, and it really worked out really well, because I did that with these ones when these ones hatched, and I had 2 tuxedo girls that are in there now. Actually, I think I lost one of them, but anyway, I have two tuxedo girls. Were like 2 to 3 weeks ahead of the topaz that I got from, not the topaz, but the red range. The ranges from Rebecca's line. So they're like 2 or 3 weeks ahead of them in a sense. And so by the time they were old enough to kind of need and want the socialization, they were crying. So when they were basically needing the brooder at that point, going from the incubator to the brooder, I started popping in some of the teenager, or the ones that are, like I said, were 3 or 4 weeks older. And these 2 little tuxedo girls just decided that they wanted to be babysitters, so they decided they were gonna. It was a quiet. They had like I think there's 7 of them in that group, or 6 or 7. So it was a pretty good group. And why are you guys coming out here to visit, Mama? What's going on in there? Is Moon? What's going on? I don't know why they're in here. Isha might have kicked them off. Did Isha kick you off? She did? I'll have to figure it out. I think Isha kicked them out. That was that no flapping noise. But anyway, yeah, they were like babysitters for them, and then they decided to move in. I had them in there during the day and stuff like that when I was at work, and I would watch them on the camera. And they were doing excellent with them. And so they ended up being au pairs for them, and worked out really well. But then I tried to put them in there with these babies this time, and they're like, nope, we did that. We're done with that. They didn't have nothing to do with that. I'm like, oh, I gotta put you in there. Nope. They didn't have nothing to do with these babies. So I'm hoping these babies, when these other ones pop out, they will... like I said, I'll pop them, let them have visitations and stuff like that, and see if they like to be au pairs. That'd be kind of cool. And they might like to go back into the brooder. See, they got all that food. They got elemental water. When they're in I start weaning them and feeding them together with the rest of the group. So the quails get fed 4 times a day. And they usually have at least 2 meals in their kennel at all times. And then the chickens only get fed 3 times a day and only have enough food for that meal. So the reason being is that if I leave the food out for the chickens, they will make a mess of it and throw food everywhere in my house, and that is not going to happen. My quails do not do that. They do not throw food around. None of my boys, and when they were when they were teenagers, they might have done. A couple of them might have been messy, but overall, they don't do it. They don't throw their food around. They're pretty good about not dumping their waters. Yeah, they're overall very, 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 very well behaved birds. The chickens, not so much. So they're very messy. They do like to play in the water. The quail like to play in the water too, but our agreement is they get to play in this water. So when they get their time out, they can have a swim, and they can play in this water and they just basically, we have to empty that water and clean and sanitize it after the quails have had their little play date. But I'll have the girls all out here, and then the boys. Usually what I do is the girls usually come out in the mornings and have their play date, and I'll take them all from their kennels and leave the boys that are in their kennels with them, their breeder boys. They have to stay in the kennel. And then the boys usually get rotated once a day. So after the girls, I usually let one of the boys out. They'll roam around and such. Mostly what the boys do, to be honest with you, is just talk to the whatever. Like Sissy sits here. He'll roam around a little bit. Like today, Sissy was his day, so he roamed around a little bit and everything. But mostly he stayed around here by his dad, and they were talking to each other because they can't see each other. They got the cardboard up and everything. They can't be in the same room with each other because they will attack each other. I've tried it. It's not successful. So yeah. And down here I don't have any boys, so like I said, the boys get rotated, they get to run around and do, whatever. But to be honest with you, they don't. The girls take full advantage of it. They're flying around, they're socializing with their favorite girls, because sometimes they get separated, so that, like I said, they're all done by color type, so they don't necessarily are in the same house with somebody that their best friend might be a tuxedo, for example, or the pharaoh or whatever. But anyway, they get to socialize, and they do take advantage of that. The boys would just hang around their own house, basically, and they don't stray very far, so generally speaking. I don't let all of the boys loose. Sunny D can be trusted. Froggy's pretty good. Sissy's excellent. Dottie is the only one right now having a hard time. Dottie was actually second. Froggy was first pick last breeding season, and the girls said absolutely not. And then Dottie was picked. And so Dottie did an excellent job with the girls, and everything else. He did really, really well. And then this year, my choices was once again Froggy, Dottie, or Danny Boy. And Danny Boy was, I loved his coloring, and so I chose him. And his demeanor is very, 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 when they're not in season and they're very nice to the girls, that's a good sign, because when they go in season, they get very, very agitated, and their hormones start picking up really good, and it's not a pretty sight, especially if they're not a nice bird, like if they're not a nice to each other. And so Froggy was just young and immature and thought he would whatever. And the girls said no, and they almost unlived him because they were just no, that's not happening. And so Dottie did really well. And then, like I said, this season, this year, our options was we had 3 boys to choose from, and it was going to be either Froggy or Danny anyway, and it wasn't going to be Dottie. So he's having hard times with that. Because the boys get to stay with the girls up until Generally, it's usually right around July when it gets really, really hot. I usually pull the boys and put them back in their bachelor pads. And their bachelor pad is sitting right there. It is just waiting for them. So I don't need to put it together because I don't need it. Obviously, I have a whole section here so I don't need it right now. But as soon as they are done with their season, then I will pull the boys, and that's, like I said, usually around July, first week of August, around there. They get pulled, and all the boys go into their bachelor pads, which is what they all individually have as housing. And the boys actually have a better option, because if you look at it from this perspective, right now, this is my smaller group. I have 3 girls in there and a boy. So that's 4 birds, and they have the same space, and there's only 2. So they really have a large amount of space. But they can't be all the boys can't be let loose. If there would be a big ball of boys just going like this. It would not be good. And then Sissy, because he's got crossbeak, can't defend himself at all. In fact, it's so funny because he'll go, when I ask him if he wants to come out, and he'll launch himself at the door, and his beak will stick to the wires, and he'll get stuck there. And so in the wild, he would actually not make it because his beak would be just too long, and we have to keep it short. He did not like it how short I did it last time. But the problem is if you don't keep it short, and a lot of people don't understand this, their quick will grow with their beak, right? So it's kind of like the opposite of our nails. Their beak grows, and then the quick, which is the nerve endings and the blood flow, kind of grows behind it. And so if you allow their beak to grow, the birds that have crossbeak, if you allow their beak to continue to grow and you don't clip it and clip it and clip it as quick, you have to clip it all the way to almost to the quick, which it sounds awful, but it's kind of like, it feels no different than if you rip your nail off past the quick on your finger. It's very uncomfortable, and it hurts. And it hurts, it throbs, and it's just not a good feeling. And so he was a little upset with me about it, but it had gotten, he didn't let me do it when I wanted to do it, and then I'm like, hey, we need to do this. And so it was a little bit too long. I could see the quick growing, and the problem with that, with the crossbeak, if you're not on top of it, like I said, you're kind of fighting that quick, and you're kind of cutting into that quick a little bit, because you have no choice. If it continues to grow, it'll keep crossing, and then at some point he's not going to be able to open his mouth, and that's when you have to feed him by hand, which is very dangerous, to be honest with you, because like us, and similar to us but not like us, when the food comes down, there's 2 airways. So their beak is like this, right? But inside that beak, there's 2 airways. One is going to their lungs, and one's going to go to their stomach. Yeah, so they're that close. And so when you're shoving something down their throat, you could be shoving that into their lungs. And so I have a large amount of medical experience. I've worked with a large amount of children, infants, toddlers, all humans, and babies, adults, every age that you can imagine. I've worked with a large amount of individuals, humans that have been not able to care for themselves as far as feeding. They were nonverbal, they were bedridden. I used to work in the hospice, and so I also have a lot of experience with animals, and has husbandry and different things like that. So it's not so much that I'm unaware of what needs to be done, it's just that I don't want to hurt my animals, and that is a delicate situation. And I've seen people just shove it right down and kind of like opening up wide and shove it down there type situation. That would probably be the safer thing than just shoving it in there. But with the cross beak, like I said, if it does get out of hand, and sometimes you can't stop it. What you're feeding him, I got to be really careful what I feed him, and I was aware of that when I had thought putting my birds on a high protein diet was a good thing. I knew better not to do that to him, right? So I have now discontinued doing that, and I think that is the benefit of my birds. And I only use it for treats and such, which is like once a month type thing. They get something as far as a treat, and it's usually once a month. But anyway, I knew better than give him any of that high protein, just because it would make his beak grow faster. So you kind of have to give him a low protein diet. Because you don't want his beak to grow too much. So like a low protein diet is the best thing for him. But he is on a high fat diet. So he's on a low protein diet, high fat diet. So what are you guys doing? You're not supposed to be up there. You're trying to get in. Okay, let me help you guys. Come on. Snickers gone over here twice, and like she keeps telling me, I need to go to bed. It's so sweet. Oh, so sweet babies. What happened? You guys fell down? Come here. Snickers can't fly. No, I know, baby girl. Here you go. Hop up. You can't be on Mama. Get up. Why are you on me? There you go. Doodle's right here. Come here, Doodle. Doodle bug. We're still having a hard time with transferring. What's up? Alright, here we go. Is that what you guys are looking for? Okay. Anyway, I have talked my ear off, you guys' ear off. I'm going to let you guys go. And hopefully Facebook will let me upload this. If not, it will be on YouTube. Have a great day. Bye.